Our New Testament reading comes from Matthew 5:13 through 20. And I invite you to listen. In your pew Bibles, it is on page 1501. I am not using your pew Bible, but I'm using the NIV. So please listen, or you could follow along. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything, except to be thrown out and trampled by men. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden, neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before men, that they may see your good deeds and praise our Father in heaven. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. I tell you the truth. Until heaven and earth disappear, not the smallest letter, not the least stroke of a pen will by any means disappear from the law until everything is accomplished. Anyone who breaks one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do so or to do the same will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever practices and teaches these commands will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I tell you that unless your righteousness surpasses that of the Pharisees and the teachers of the law, you will certainly not enter the kingdom of heaven. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Well, you know, that's why they have something called lectionary. There's always part of the Bible that us pastors find it at times difficult to communicate and break down. But I'm going to try this. The name of this sermon is called Salt, Pepper, and Light. How many of you like to cook? Raise your hand. Okay. My hubby and I both like to cook. And sometimes at the same time. And sometimes we put a little too much of that or this in each other's pots, and we get a little frustrated at times, but that's okay. Because sometimes it even works out better. If you're a cook, you know that the seasonings is what is used to give your dish a distinct flavor. And for some people, they measure it all out. You know those people that pour in a little salt and you just exactly right. So if you're a baker, you have probably more of that in your household. How many people bake? See? Let me see over here. Okay. So is it exact? No, it's not for Bob. For me it is, because I don't bake. But I do cook, and it's usually a dash of this and a dash of that and a dash of this. And so somebody will call up and say, girl, what did you put in that pot? That was really good. Girl, I don't know, just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. That's the way you do it. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? As cooks and as individuals of Christian faith, we may have to use other seasonings to bring back the flavor. There are other substitutes for salt, such as lemon. Anybody have high blood pressure in here taking medicine for that? So you can't use a lot of salt. You got to use other things, right? Well, what about pepper and lemon and curry and parsley and cilantro and etc.? Those are all things that we use to kind of make things more flavorful. The same with the law. Laws can be used to divide one another or used against each other. Or the law can be used to enhance civility and order to things. That's why, as Presbyterians, we have our book of order. It helps solidify folks. And for example, we once had laws in honor of Black History Month. We once had laws, and those laws were just plain wrong. That stated that African Americans had to sit in the back of the bus. And Lee, where's Lee? Lee told me a story about he went down south on a bus trip from the north to the south to Key West, Florida. And when he arrived, the bus driver basically disrespected a Black woman who was originally sitting in the front and told her to sit in the back now. Get in the back. Now, thanks be to God, the laws have been forced to change. After much determination and gnashing of teeth and fulfilling work of those who fought for justice, and for those who continue to work towards justice today, as evidenced by the Me Too movement and other things that are happening in the world. But our scripture today, Jesus states, and he brings this to light, I have not come to abolish the law, but to fulfill them, to fulfill something desired, right? To fulfill something that is desired, promised, or predicted. To carry out something that is expected. But how God fulfills things and carries out things is not how we do things, is it? Jesus today in our scripture reminds us that God alone is the judge with this simple statement. Anyone who breaks one of these commandments and teaches others to do the same will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. Let me say that again. Anyone who breaks one of these commandments and teaches others to do the same will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. Salt, pepper, light. Now, some of you know that when you get a cut on your knee, you fall down, and I don't know if y'all remember, but back in the day, you know, Mama used to pour this stuff on my knees, and it would bubble up. You remember? Peroxide. And sometimes if she didn't have that, then it was this stuff called alcohol. Woo! And that would, what, burn? Everybody would go, oh. It would burn. And iodine did the same thing. That red, isn't that a red stuff? Yeah. So that was mercurochrome and iodine, okay. But you see, when we have lost our saltiness, how do we get it back? When we have lost our nerve to be Christians, what do? When we feel, and we talked about this in Bible study, when we feel isolated and lonely, what in the world can we do as Christian individuals in this world, in today's? What is it that Jesus is saying to us through the scripture? Now, I want to share something with you. It's a statement, and I've said it before. But in light of the wounds that we get throughout our lives, when we fall down and scrape our knees, and some of us fall down pretty hard and we scrape more than our knees, and somebody comes along and pours some peroxide or alcohol and really burns us, and we're so burnt that we carry that heaviness and that resentment the rest of our lives. But then, what Jesus is saying today is the light is shined. The light shines in the wounds and in the celebration. The light shined, and there was a gentleman that said this, and I love this quote. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant and gorgeous and talented and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be, people of God? You are a child of God, each and every one of you. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us. It's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. We are liberated from our own fear. Our presence automatically liberates others. End quote. Nelson Mandela. You see, when we lose our saltiness, or I like pepper, so I might put a little more pepper than most people do. I kind of like it hot. And when that happens, I know I put a little bit too much of pepper when my husband's brow starts to sweat. And he keeps eating it. And that's okay. Because sometimes when the pepper gets hot in our lives, we sweat. Sometimes when we don't have our friends anymore to speak the truth in love, as you stood up here, Alexis, and said, you know what, she's wearing Casey's robe. Well, see, with the baptism, we're wearing the robe of Christianity. When we are baptized, whether we're baptized with this little bit of water over here or the ocean, we remember every Sunday, what does that really mean and how does it manifest itself in our lives? What is it that I need to do and change? With the help of God, I need to fall on my knees and ask for forgiveness and say, Lord, help me get up. That's what we're going to do. Now, this Thursday, I went to dinner. It was dinner with a couple friends of ours I've probably known for at least 10 years. And I sat down, we were at Carrabba's, and I sat down, and the first thing out of this little lady's mouth was, "Oh, did you see how horrible it was for that person to rip up that speech?" Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. And I said, we have to, first of all, get out of ourselves. And she looked at me, and I said, you know, we're so used to where we come from, where we sit. If we sit here, then we have a tendency, ladies and gentlemen, to stay sitting there. Now, I'm just going to say this. You all sit in pretty much your same seats every Sunday. Now, what would happen, oh, God forbid, if somebody was sitting in your seat and you had to get up and sit in the back row where Shauna is, okay? You're like, well, you know, I don't feel good back here. I don't know if I want to sit back here. And this feels really uncomfortable. When I sat down with my friend, I said, you know, and she started with an I just don't know why she would do such a thing. I can't answer that for her, but she was very appalled, and I understand that. And when I said, sometimes, I'll just call her Sally, not her name, Sally, we got to get from the comfort zone of where we come from. Now, you are 80 years old. You come from a certain spot in life. And you know history because you lived it. Your history. You came from a farm. You worked that farm. You got a hold of education and you went all the way to the best. She worked hard. She saw things a certain way. When we lose our saltiness or our pepperish, and we can't see the light, ladies and gentlemen, move from where you are. Try, if you can, to re-salt yourself by understanding where maybe somebody else is coming from. Now, maybe with that person, it's difficult because that is a political person. You'll probably never meet that person. But what about the other people in your realm? You can sit with them, and you can find out what it means to be him, just a little bit. I'm an African-American woman, and as my husband might say, yeah, But I come from a different road and walkway than Richard. But that doesn't mean that I can't understand what his walk has been about. But that means I gotta sit somewhere different that's uncomfortable, where I don't feel like anybody knows my name. Where I walk in and it's just Richard there, and I have to spend time with him, and I have to touch him, I have to lean on him. I have to be able to understand who this man is. And that means I have to spend time there. Then when I walk away, I think I'm a little saltier for it. I got a little bit more pepper in my step. And I see the light a little differently than if I had stayed my tail up here and basically read to you. Get out of here. Get out of yourself. If you feel your salt and pepper and light is disappearing, remember, stand up, Alexis. Remember that when you put on somebody else's robe, you put somebody that robe is not here physically. Is she here spiritually?
Yes.
Do some of y'all speak the truth in love? I know some of y'all take me on the side and say, listen, I don't like blah, blah, blah. You're speaking your truth. It's okay. And when it's done in love, it's done. So you haven't lost your faith, your salt, your step, and your light. You see, do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. I tell you the truth, until heaven and earth disappear, not the smallest letter, not the least stroke of a pen, will by any means disappear from the law until everything is accomplished. For you are the light of the world.